Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Supah Nerd-Tendo on No Fucks Given Radio.
Select your player. Player 1, start.
You're serious, aren't you?
About what I do, yes. Not necessarily the way I do it.
The Thing. Is this dork made of orange rock like the rest of his body?
It's a different morality. Get used to it or go home.
As long as I'm not that person.
The evil one.
Well, nobody's perfect, but that's overstating it a little.
Comic book shit.
I find that answer vague and unconvincing.
Yeah, pretty obscure.
Don't you think that's plain damn weird?
Your hosts, Mr. DKB and Racer XX Cash of the Supah Smash Bros and the Unknown Factor.
Did it work?
Supah Nerd-Tendo.
Enough said.
Yeah, so let's start this shit off then. Yeah, Supah Nerd-Tendo. Like I said, Razor, I'm going to be busy as hell, and that's what's up. That is including going up on fucking Saturday, free comic book day. Y'all fucking, if there's any comic nerds out there, you need to check that shit out. Go pick yourself up a free book. Fuck, I don't give a fuck if you don't read comics. Go pick one up. You might find something dope as fuck you really like. You know, encourage your brain to work a little bit. But this is the Supah Nerd-Tendo Hour right now, the beginning of my busy-ass next couple days, man. And I got my host, the co-host of this show with me. I don't know what the fuck. See, we all hosted this show, but whatever. I don't know. Fuck it, Racer, DKB, that's what's up. What y'all doing?
What's up? How's everybody doing? Just job.
Y'all supposed to say, like, more than that. Goddamn.
Yeah, just ready to get cracking. We got 2 hours. I don't need to throw no introductions in. We'll get into it.
Well, fuck it then. Well, I'm at least going to introduce, you know, one other gentleman. I feel kind of asinine if I didn't, man, because we got Uncle Raffy in the fucking house tonight. Yeah.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah.
Man.
Raffy. Hello.
I just want to, let's just, like, fuck it. You're right, Racer. We got 2 hours. Let's just dive right into this shit, man. I just got to say, Raffy, you've been writing for a minute. You've wrote some shit. You've worked for some companies. I just want to know, man, what initially got you, like, I'm going to fucking write some comic books?
Oh, man. I, at the tender age of 5 or 6, found my brother's stash of comic books and started looking at the pictures, and I actually learned how to read by reading comic books. And I think at one point my brother and I, between the two of us, we had like almost, like 7,000 comic books.
Damn.
My brother collected everything. He had Little Dot Polka. He had Casper. He had Archie. He had the Hulk. He had Superman. I mean, you name it. And my brother read it and collected it. And so I went from reading them to, oh man, I really wanted to draw them. And only problem with that was I can't draw. So I was good enough at drawing to know that I wasn't good enough at drawing. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
A man's got to know his limitations. So I thought, well, you know, let me see if I could tell a story. So I started crafting up these stories, and I thought, man, I think I can do this. So yeah, I mean, comics are the great literature, man. You can make and destroy worlds in comics. You can travel everywhere and bring people with you. And it's such a high to put the proverbial pen to paper and make something and share that something with other people. And yeah, why not? Plus, I can't sing or dance, so
right on. Very cool, very cool.
Oh,
yeah, Racer, you could probably attest to that a little bit. Yeah, pretty much a similar. I remember having my first comic book when I was like 3 or something because I had like the crayons and stuff in it. But yeah, who knew that me and Uncle Raffy almost had the same timeline? It's kind of crazy getting the comic.
That's right.
That is nuts, man. Because for real, like I learned to read off comic books as well. That's the fucking thing that really got me to where. Like, I guarantee if it wasn't for comic books, I never would have been the kind of motherfucker that read the Game of Thrones books. Because holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good, man.
Go ahead, Uncle.
I was just going to say that I went from when I was reading comics, I started reading the Classics Illustrated, the old Classics Illustrated, and there's nothing like a 24-page full color adaptation of the Three Musketeers to get you rocking and rolling. So I went from reading comic books to actually reading those classics, and I got hooked on Poe and on Shakespeare and those cats. and my brain just exploded with all that stuff, man. And to this day, Shakespeare and Poe are like, you know, they're my favorite authors, and I'm always trying to strive to find ways to adapt their work for new audiences who maybe you know, can't get into, you know, oh my God, there's no pictures in this. But yeah, I mean, I went from that to you can't read either one of those things and not get into history and romance and fantasy, because I think I jumped right from Shakespeare right into Robert E. Howard, you know, yeah, I mean, it's I can't. I'm the hugest advocate of comics as reading material for kids, you know. You can the kids who read comic books are some of the smartest kids I've ever met, and if you can just take that and that hunger and thirst for these adventures and just kind of just nudge them just a little bit into reading books and literature, you are creating beasts, man, beasts of imagination. It's amazing.
Well said, sir.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, man. So I'm curious to know then, what's the first story you came up with when you were writing, Rafi?
The very first story I came up with, or the first thing I ever got published?
First thing, both.
Both. I did a thing. Oh man. I used to. So I used to write poetry. So, which I will not recite any of because it was so long ago. Yeah, I started writing poetry. I dug that stuff. Plus, it was a cool way to meet girls. So I went from that to I took these poems and I started trying to turn it into something else. You know, like I was trying to do like the epic poems. You know, like the Song of Siegfried or whatever. And I think the first thing I ever tried to actually write, oh man, first thing I wrote that I'll cop to. I was in high school and I wrote this story, and it was for my girlfriend, and it was this fantasy thing about this guy and this girl, and they were adventurers on this far off planet, and they were having sex, and somehow one of my I think my girlfriend showed my story to one of the teachers at school. So yeah, so nothing like being a freshman in high school, and I got called to the teacher's lounge. I had no idea what they wanted, and so I walk in, and there's all these middle-aged women looking at me, and they all have copies of this story.
Oh man!
And I'm like, oh, holy shit. And they complimented me on the story, and they told me what was wrong with it. And the whole time I'm thinking, oh, my God, there's people having sex in that story. You know? But it was, and not just people, me and my girlfriend. So the girlfriend didn't last, but the buzz from that critique definitely did. So that was like the first thing that I'll cop to as being an actual story. And I don't know where that lives now. From there, I would say my first published comic was something I co-wrote called Tales from the Heart, which I did with a woman named Cindy Goff. She was a you want all the details here? Or?
Yeah.
All right. So I was working at an ad agency, and Cindy was working there too, and she knew that I was trying to break into comics, and you know, because can't sing, can't dance, and she said, "Well, you know, I'll help you." I said, "Well, the thing is, I can't type. I don't have a typewriter, so I'm writing this stuff out all longhand." And she said, "No problem. I'll be happy to type." And I said, "Thank you." And she said, "Hey, these stories are pretty good. I've always wanted to write." And I said, "Well, what do you want to write?" She said, "I want to write my memoirs. I was in the Peace Corps for a couple of years." I said, "Oh, that's very cool. You should do it." And she said, "Yeah, but nobody's going to read that stuff. There's hundreds of books out about the Peace Corps, and it's so boring and blah, blah, blah." And I said, "You know, it'd be really cool is to take that story and turn it into a comic book, because I guarantee you no one's read that." So she got intrigued, and we started working together, and we took her real-life adventures and the center of Africa, so the heart of Africa, which is where the title came from. And we were trying to find somebody to draw the damn thing. And I remembered a friend of mine, William Seitu Hayden, who was a storyboard artist and who happened to be African American, so he knew how to draw black people. And because it's the peeve I have when people can't draw ethnicities, you know. But that's later. That's later after my second rum and coke. Anyway, so we started writing this thing, and he was cool. He said, "Yeah, let's do this." So we wrote the script, and we started shopping this thing around. And man, we could not get arrested with this. No one wanted to read this stuff. Bear in mind, this is the mid to late '80s, and the underground comics. They weren't independents then; they were underground. Were just blasting through the whole biz. You know, everybody was like discovering all this stuff, and it'd always been around. But now it's like all these mainstream guys like Neil Adams and Frank Chirocco and Bernie Wright, and they were all coming on the scene. They were all doing all these zines, and Warren was publishing Creepy and Vampirella and Eerie, and just this melting pot of just such great, fertile, cool comics was coming out, and I thought this is great, man. We gotta, we could hit this. This is gonna be awesome. And then I think Watchmen came out at that time too. So I thought, shit, literature, yeah, we could do this. Harvey Pekar was doing his comic then. It was just this crazy time period. And I thought, yeah, we're definitely gonna get published. And everyone said no. So
I know that struggle. You got to keep grinding.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so much easier today than it was back then. But I wouldn't give up that history for anything. Plus, it makes for really good stories when people get me on the radio.
I can dig it.
So we turned around, and Cindy's originally from Minnesota, from Minneapolis, I think, and we were at the Chicago Convention, which back then was called Chicago Comic Con, and it was at. Damn, I think it was at the Congress Hotel down on Michigan Avenue.
Yeah, I went to it one year. It was very cool.
Yeah. So we met these guys. They were small publishing house out of, as it turns out, Minneapolis, St. Paul. And they said, "Oh, I love this stuff, man. We got to do this." So they became our publishers, and they were called. Unfortunately, they were called Entropy Press, and it turned out they were definitely they lived up to the name because they folded very quickly. But they were our first publishers, and we did this black and white book called Tales from the Heart, and it was cool. It was great fun. After they folded, we didn't know what to do. We thought, okay, well, we had 2 issues, so that was our run, and we thought it was cool. It was fun while it lasted. And then we were contacted by a publisher out of San Jose, a guy named Dan Vado, who was publishing. He was a publisher of a company called Slave Labor Graphics. And he said, "Man, Tales from the Heart, I love this book. I want to publish it." And we said, "Yeah, well, I don't know, man." He said, "No, it's cool." And we said, "Dude, you're not going to make it. This thing's not selling. Nobody's buying this book, and the company that published it went out of business, and nobody wants this." He goes, "I don't care." He said, "If I don't publish it, I'll never get a chance to read it."
That's cool.
I said, "Boom."
Hell yeah.
So issues 3 through 11 were published by Slave Labor Graphics. Thank you, Dan Vado. Can't remember how to pronounce your last name anymore. Yeah, man, the rest is history.
Is that the same people who did Apocalypse Plan you put it out on them?
No, that was much later on, and Apocalypse Plan was done by another dear friend of mine, the late. Oh, sorry, hold on, I'm getting a little goofy here.
Gary Reed.
I
was gonna have you talk about him to everybody so they didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get through this. Gary Reed is a publisher of Caliber Comics. he was the man who basically published. He's the first publisher for The Crow, and for Guy Davis and Baker Street, which was an amazing book, and Dead World and Vince Locke, and he discovered these guys, Vince Locke and Guy Davis and James O'Barr, and I think he was the first publisher for Bendis. Mike Perkins, another amazing
David
talent.
Mack, I believe, too.
David Mack, too. Yeah. At one point, Caliber was the biggest publisher, I think, in the world, just based on the number of titles that they had. And so many people owed their careers to Gary and what he did for them. And
printed our buddy Andy Dimmott's first book and stuff.
He did, yeah, he sure did. And Gary was he was a good guy. He was a no bullshit kind of guy. He was an imposing figure. That dude he's a big solid dude, you know. And he talked with a gravelly voice.
Yeah, me and DKB got to meet him.
Yeah. So you know,
that might have been the first time we met you.
It could very well have been, yeah. So, yeah, he was just he was amazing. And with Gary, it was like, Raph, just if you've got something you want to post, just give it to me. I know you're good. We'll do this. And he was an amazing guy. And he died a few months ago, a heart attack. And we were talking about reprinting some of my early work, and he passed. And this it came on the heels. I mentioned my brothers who got me into comics. My brother died shortly before then of cancer, and then a few months later Gary died, and so it all just kind of. Thanks, man. That's how I get maudlin. I'm putting it all into some context here. So those two guys, they were beacons for me in terms of what I do in comics, and I will miss them both greatly. But yeah, Gary was amazing, an amazing guy, and I don't think we will ever see anyone with his ability to recognize talent and to just put out some honest, really well done comics.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention him definitely because a lot of people might not know him, but he impacted a lot of comic book people's lives. So I wanted to be very well said. No, and I appreciate that, man. When he, when he passed, I thought the interwebs was just going to explode, and I was pissed off that it didn't. So many shared
people
in a few groups and no one even knew. I was like, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. The world needs to know who he was and what he did for the industry. Definitely.
See, I'll be real honest.
Like precursor to the Walking Dead, and that's the original zombie comic book, in my opinion.
Yeah, see,
definitely. I know Dead World started it all.
Yeah, see, and that's a name I know, and I definitely know Caliber Comics, but I didn't know the extent of what I do now, Raffy. I'll tell you that much. Holy shit, that's just insane.
For the history, brother.
Hell yeah, man! Look, I love that, dude. That's part of what I love about this radio is some of the information I just get that I didn't have. But that's besides the point, all right? Because this is about Uncle Raffy, and that's what's up. Now, I know you personally, man. You've worked for an abundance of different companies, up to and including Marvel, which is fucking impressive. But we'll get to that bit later. But I'm curious. Because something you said earlier, in comparison to especially what myself and the Smash Bros do and what Racer does with the comics, you say it was difficult to get published back then because obviously it wasn't something you could just, hey, here's $100 and you've got a fucking book. You know, like you.
Right.
I don't know if it's $100 Racer. If I'm way low on that, I'm sorry. I only know about fucking getting CDs and shit. Like I could give you those.
I'll never tell.
That's fine. Till we co-write some crazy shit, and then you have to tell me because I got to throw in on it. But that's besides the point, right? Whatever.
Down with it.
Right? Yeah. Fuck, we'll go into that shit later. But I'm curious, Rafi, what do you think of it, like, compared to back then as compared to now? Do you think it's a good thing, or do you think it's bad for the industry as a whole? How easy it is to just get your fucking work out there?
Oh, shit. You know, I knew this question was going to come up, and I thought maybe I could just unplug at that point and not have to answer it. But,
tough question.
No,
Damn, wait, Rafi, it's a little early in the fucking interview for that.
I know, right? It is. It's the greatest thing ever, and it's the worst thing ever. It's so easy to self-publish now. My God, there's so many avenues, so many ways to get your book done. And the market is just so flooded with books.
That's pretty much anything. Everybody has a podcast. Everybody's a rapper. Everybody has a comic book. It's kind of like that's the new thing. All your dreams, I guess.
Yeah. So back in the day, it was hard to get published, but easier to get read. Now it's easy to get published. It's easy to publish, but much harder to get read. That's why when I go to C2E2 or to Wizard World, and I walk up and down Artist Alley to say hey to my friends, and I see all these super, super talented young kids, and frankly some not so talented young kids, all hawking their stuff, man, like it's the second coming. You know, I recall vividly. I'm walking down and I'm talking to some people, and guys are like putting their books up in front of me, going, "Dude, you got to read this. You got to read this. This book will change your life." I'm like, okay, well, it's going to change my direction, that's for sure. And I said, so let me take a look at it. You know, I'm like, all right, this is a young cat. You know, obviously spent a lot of money on this piece of shit to get it published, and they offer him a couple bones, and then he'll take my money gladly, and he'll take the book back. He goes, all right, I'm going to sign this for you, okay? But you got to promise me, man. You got to promise me you'll let me know what you think. And I thought, first of all, the audacity of just signing it without me asking to sign it, it's a little bit, it's etiquette, you know, I need a little etiquette. But you don't really, really want to know what I think of your book. So, but I got to tell you, man, like, the confidence of these kids these days, and the ability they have to put this stuff out there is amazing. They just don't all have to be out there, you know. When I was coming up, I told you guys, I was like, I knew that I was never going to be a good enough artist to draw comics, so I didn't. And the world's a better place for it. Instead, I got lucky. I find Tony Maldonado. I find Andy Dimmitt.
You go Pedro.
Yeah, I find all these cats who are like a phenomenal artist. It's such a joy to work with them. You know, it's very cool.
Hey, and shout out to Tony.
He's gonna listen. I told him we're gonna do the show. He's like, I'll be checking it out.
Yeah, cool. Shout out to Tony. If you want to know anything more about him, just check out the first episode of the Supah Nerd-Tendo Hour. That's where we had him on here.
I know. Tony Maldonado's a beast. Love that guy.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Everything I've seen from him was certainly fucking dope. So, man, I'm curious.
So, I don't know if I answered your question, but that's what I think. I think it's easier to get published now, and it should maybe be a little bit more difficult.
So, all right. Well,
I think he did a good job.
Yeah, I can't really hear. Let's bring let's bring fucking DK into this. That's what I want to do. I want to bring DK into this fucking shit. DK, you there?
I'm here.
All right, he's there, ladies and gentlemen. That's awesome. All right, so man, I kind of agree with what Racer said as far as, I mean, for real, fucking, it has become just easier to publish everything in general, dude. Do you think, like, what's your opinion, man? Do you agree with Rafi?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You think that it just goes across the board, or you think it's just comics?
Oh, it's everything. Everything, yeah. The market's because of the internet. It makes it so much easier to get out there and just. And like you said, everybody thinks that they're good enough to do it.
You can print on demand and you got money, they'll take it.
Yeah, you can do it. Anybody can do it. I mean, you don't need somebody to publish you or put you out or whatever.
Yes, that's definitely true. I think everyone here can pretty much attest to that. But, Raph,
yeah, that's anything.
Yeah, you
Business
throughout your career, man, you went and got published by Caliber, which is one of them real big ones, and then you got published by, I think, if you think comics nowadays, people are pretty much going to think two comic book labels, mostly the general public. I could sit here and rattle off 100, but that's besides the point. I'm not the general fucking public. I'm the Unknown Factor. I'm sure Bracer and DKB could do the same. But, yeah, those being DC and Marvel. And you got a chance to work for Marvel, man, writing Hellstorm. I'm just curious, what was that experience like, man, working in that company?
It was. Here's another one that hold on. Is that? I think my wife's calling me. Hold on.
Hey, no. Wait, look. I got Raffy trying to run off from questions and shit. Like, I got to go.
Is answering a totally different question?
Well, it's interesting how I got the gig at Marvel was it was actually through that book Tales from the Heart that I was telling you about. Marvel had a dude who worked in sales and marketing. His name is Lou Bank, a wonderful guy. He Cindy and I met him at a trade show. They don't have those anymore, but when there was more than one comic distributor, they used to have trade shows, and they would bring creators and publishers together with retailers, kind of pimp out the books and everything. So it's actually where I met Gary, and also where I met Lou Bank from Marvel. And by that point, Cindy and I were already being published by Slave Labor. We were a few issues into it, so we had a good 4 or 5 issues out. And I can't remember the year, so don't ask me.
93 was when it did Hellstorm.
Yeah. So it was early 90s. Thank you. So we saw Lou. He came by our booth. We were actually repping at a booth for Slave Labor because they were out in San Jose, California, and couldn't make it to Chicago, or where were we? Madison, Wisconsin, for this trade show. So Lou comes by and he's like, "Hey, I'm with Marvel." Blah. He goes, "Oh, Tales of Heart. I love this book. I love this book." We're like, "Oh, that's cool. This guy loves this book." And he says, "I've got some people with me, and I want to show them this book." And we're like, "Yeah, dude, take some copies. Pass them out." He's like, "Cool, thank you." And we're like, "Yes, he loves the book. He's going to take our book around. This is awesome." Next day he came back and said, "Hey, I got to be honest. I actually had never heard of your book before."
Oh, man.
But I read the books last night, and I really do love them. And he
trust him after that point. No, I'm joking.
No. I totally. You know what? He's sales and marketing.
That's true. That's part of the gig, right?
He made me feel special.
I'm gonna start
using
that.
He came back and called me the next day. So
I'm gonna start running up to motherfuckers
later on, right?
Yeah. Like, hey, I'm No Fucks Given Radio. I love your music. I'm for real, Raffy. That's genius.
So he said I read everything. I was up late into that. It was like 5 comics. So it's like I read everything. This is amazing. I'm going to talk to Marvel, and we gotta publish you. You gotta let us publish you. I'm like, holy shit! Marvel's going to publish Tales from the Heart.
A good bit,
and
right?
this little rinky-dink book. So Cindy and I, and we're talking about it. I'm like, damn, how do we do this? This is going to be rough because I didn't want to jump ship. I didn't want to turn my back on Dan Votto, who saved us when we were floundering. So I went back to Lou and I said, "Lou, let me ask you a question. What's a decent seller? He said, a couple 100,000 copies. I'm like, 100,000 copies. Okay. I said, Tales from the Heart sells like less than 500 copies. And the only reason it's being published is because Dan Votto wants to read the book. So, what are you going to do if you don't sell however many copies? And we said, well, yeah, we'll have to cancel you. I'm like, then why should we go to you? Why go to you and be canceled when we just stay with this guy and continue to get published and to continue to get the love and adoration that we're getting from a select few? And I was like, okay, yeah, good point. Then he said, well, how about we do like a collection of some of the stories? I'm like, yeah, cool. He goes, give me like a 3-issue package. I'm like, well, our stories don't work that way. Our stories are very, the plots are kind of, they run through every issue. It's not like we can tell a complete story in one issue. Oh shit! Okay, well that's not going to work either. And then I, being the genius that I am, said, how about we do a special? We do an original comic, a Tales from the Heart comic for Marvel. And Lou's like, yeah, that's awesome. And I thought, I'm like, ka-ching, ka-ching. I see some money.
Hell yeah!
And so we did. It was for their Epic line, and we did the Temporary Natives, which was like, I think it was 40 pages. Santu drew it. Cindy and I co-wrote it. Our editor was Marcus McLaurin over at Epic, and it was professionally lettered. It was color. Like, holy shit! This is what they look like. And it was an amazing experience. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it sold like shit, but it was cool for us. Cool enough that.
Yeah.
What's that?
Definitely a milestone.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it sold well enough that they came back and said, "Let's do another one." And we said, "Yeah, sure." So we did the second Tales from the Heart book called Bloodlines. And Cindy and I co-wrote it. Setu drew it. We had a cover by Brian Stelfreeze. That was pretty awesome.
Oh, very cool.
And that one was actually nominated for an Eisner Award. Two Eisner Awards, actually, back in, whatever it was, 91 or whatever. And some dude named Neil Gaiman, something like that. He won, I think. But it really was, you know that bullshit line about it was great just to be nominated? Dude, it was great just to be nominated.
Right.
Yeah.
To know that out of all the stuff that was being published, somebody out there went, hey, this is pretty cool.
So like you have peers in that industry? I mean, that'd be a cool experience. Like recognizing
it was
people.
Listen, I was talking about Harvey Picar earlier, and his wife, Joyce Bradner, and he were actually fans of Tales from the Heart. So at one of the... you guys better know who the fuck Harvey Picar is, because I'm not going to explain him to you if you don't. Look him up, kids.
Look him up.
All right, cool.
Might know him. I know a lot.
He did. Yeah. He had this really gravelly voice. All my friends have gravelly voices. And he said, I really like your book. It's really cool. I said, great. And Joyce had actually written about Tales from the Heart in a magazine called The Utney Reader. It was like the Reader's Digest for smart people. And she was, she's talking about like how comics had finally grown up. So that was very cool. So we got a bunch of readers off of that. But yeah, man, I was hanging out with Tim Truman, who was doing what was he doing back then? Grimjack.
Nice.
He was doing that at the time. Mike Grell was doing John Sable. Man, just a bunch of dudes. And so it was a very cool time. It was a very cool time. And then I was at Cindy's house one evening. We were working on the plot for the next issue of Tales, and her answer machine light was blinking. There's an answer machine. Kids looked at it too.
He just said,
so
he just said answering machine. Like people know what the fuck that is.
And I was like, take this historical journey with Rafael Nieves, writer extraordinaire, in the old days, when books were on smelly paper. Anyway, so Cindy, she presses the play button, and we hear this beautiful melodic British voice say, "Hi, this is Neil Gaiman. I just want to tell you I really like your book. Tales from the Heart is a great read. Thanks." Like, what? So
you
of course,
punked, did you?
No, dude, it was really Neil Gaiman. We just to prove that we didn't get punked. He actually wrote the foreword to one of the Tales from the Heart collections that Slave Labor published.
Oh wow!
It was awesome. He wrote this intro. It's like very cool. Anyway, so blah blah blah. So we were nominated for an Eisner. We didn't get it. Through that whole experience, I met some people at Marvel, including Fabian Nicieza, better known as the writer of Deadpool. Or, the guy who put some words to all the beautiful, incredible things that Rob Liefeld was creating.
I just gotta say
Whatever.
that I love Deadpool. I do. I love that fucking
Yeah.
character. I
Sure,
love that
what's not to
character.
love?
But yeah, I love that. I want to point out though, I love that character long before it was goddamn cool to love that character, because it's cool to love that character.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Fuck, I love that jackass when he's just an asshole with a mouth and a sword. It's like, hey, can I stab
He's a lot
you?
different when he first started. He didn't have multiple personalities, and
Right.
He always had a mouth though, and was a fucking dick.
I always called him Spider-Man with guns, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nice.
let's get back to...
Anyway, so Fabian's like, Fabian's like, Lou's been bugging me to read your book, and this Tales from the Heart is amazing stuff, and I'd like to offer you guys a chance to write something for Marvel. I'm like, yes. So, and Cindy's like, yes. So he offered. At the time, Fabian was editing the Star line for Marvel. The Star line was
He-Man and Peter Porker.
No, the Star line was like a
that was Star Comics.
kids.
Sorry.
It's Star Comics, yeah.
He-Man and had He-Man on it and stuff.
Oh, was it? Okay. So I got offered Mighty Mouse, and Cindy got offered Barbie. Like, what?
That's
like, dude, have you read this book that we did? This is what you're offering?
I want to see Neil Gaiman do a forward to Mighty Mouse. That'd be funny.
Yeah. How about it?
Hell no.
So I thought, I can make this thing work. I can totally make this work. So I said, dude, give me that old school Mighty Mouse, the little skinny mouse, and he eats the cheese, and his muscle, like, his one little thin muscle that grows to the size of, like, Mount Kilimanjaro, you know? I'm like, give me that guy. I will rip the shit out of that comic. It'd be great. He said, no, it's the Ralph Bakshi one. I'm like, oh, man. And then Cindy was she was doing similar things with Barbie, like, I can make this girl power book. It'll be great. I'm like, yes, it'll be so awesome. No, it's all about fashion. Like, okay. So we said, Fabian, thank you so much, but it's not going to work for us. Anyway, so I thought there was my career at Marvel.
Yeah.
I just said no to this guy. I don't want to work on Mighty. At that point, Cindy actually, because there were so many incredible creators from Minneapolis, St. Paul, and who all knew Cindy from, because she used to live there. She managed to, and most of them were working for DC. She wound up writing a 4-issue miniseries for DC called Metropolis. I think it was SCU, like a Special Crimes Unit, and that was really cool. I was so proud of her and jealous at the same time, because I was, damn it, I want to write something cool. And then Fabian said, hey, Raph, do you remember Son of Satan? I'm like, of course I remember Son of Satan. Yeah, it was a book that came out because you guys were kind of cashing in on the Exorcist craze. That's when you guys created. You created Son of Satan. You created in the Haunt of Horror Black and White magazine. You created Gabriel Devil Hunter. Of course I remember it. He goes, you want to write it? Like, hell yeah. So the only problem was I had to compete for this book. I'm like, compete? Wow. Who am I up against? So a dude named Kurt Busiek was one of the guys. Yeah. Kurt, who went out to do, like, what is it? Alpha City? Astro City. And another guy named D.G. Chichester. I don't know how to pronounce his name either. Now, Kurt used to work at Marvel, and Dan Chichester also worked at Marvel. In fact, he was one of the editors at the Epic line when we were doing Tales of the Heart. So I'm competing against these two guys, as well as a Canadian writer named Mark Asquith, who's going out to do some incredible things too. I'm like, why am I getting set up to fail? Anyway, so I said, all right, you know what? Hellstorm. Yes, that's what they want to rename. The character's name is Damon Hellstrom. They wanted to call it Hellstorm because it was sexier. I'm like, yeah, I can do this, totally. Son of Satan, horror stuff? Son of the Devil? Come on. I can totally write this stuff. I was going to write this horror comic for adults in the Marvel Universe. So, when you do we have time? Am I just going on?
No, man. Hey, dude, if I want you to shut the fuck up, Rafi, I'll tell you to shut the fuck up. You can ask any previous guest at the No Fucks Given Hour, man. I'm a rude asshole. No, if it's a good story, though, I will let it continue.
Okay, well, shut the fuck up and let me finish.
For real?
Yeah. So when you do, back in the day, I don't know how they work it now, but when you try out for a book, for a series, you have to do you have to do characters, you have to do like, what's your goal here with the book, and you also have to do 2 years worth of plots.
Damn.
So, because they want to know that you can take this character and just, run with it. And so I'm like, that's 24 plots you have to write. So I'm sweating it. I'm like, Fabian, sure, I'll do my best. And he said, Raph, you know what? The point is to make sure that you can write them. You don't have to write them. You can change your mind once you get the book. You just got to show that you can write this many, that you have that many ideas. I'm like, I got ideas. So I'm writing this thing, and then, and somehow, I don't know, I got the book, I got the assignment. I beat out these guys. To this day, now that I'm older and wiser, I think they gave me the book because they just knew that they could, they thought they could work me. Oh, Raph, shit. We can just mold him and shape him. He'll do whatever we want. Yeah.
You're hungry enough to do it, and you're like...
Right.
Yeah.
So then, so I get the book, and I said, that's great. And they said, by the way, there is no hell in the Marvel Universe. I'm like, well, what? And there is no Satan. Yeah, and they're like, there's no Satan in the Marvel Universe either. I'm like, you guys know you published a book called Son of Satan. Who lives in hell. They're like,
you're aware of this, right?
It's not like the real Satan. It's not like the real hell. I'm like, dude, you're kidding me, right? So at that point, I knew I was sunk. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so screwed.
Well, so wait,
I can't write this book.
Wait, so Raffy, they didn't tell you to use fucking Malbolgia and all that shit?
No.
Well, fuck them. They could have at least gave you that.
I know Malbolgia was around in the 80s.
Yeah, probably not. Oh, it's 90s. Come on, man, I'm not that old.
Oh yeah, 90s. My bad. Yeah, he might have been around. He might have been around late.
So anyway, so I got the book, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to do the best I can with this thing. And I was setting up some really cool stuff, I thought. And you guys ever work the Marvel way? Do you know what the Marvel way of writing is?
I don't think I want to know. Yeah,
draw pictures, and then you write to the bubbles.
Yeah, well, yeah, you pretty much you write
the art comes in, and then you have to write around the art, basically.
Well, that's how it turns out. Yeah, because what you do is you plot first and you dialogue second. So every page is a paragraph. So you write a paragraph for every page, and it's like page 1, Cap and Spidey duke it out. Looks like Cap's going to win. Page 2, Spidey's winning, but he flicks some web at our guy. Page 3, so like that. And then that gets approved and it gets sent to the artist, whereby the artist says, I'm going to get paid $100 whether I write 5 panels or whether I draw 5 panels or 3 panels. I'm gonna draw 3 panels. And I don't like the way this guy wrote this, so I'm going to change it around. And I don't understand what he's saying in this line of the paragraph. And I'm going to draw what I want to draw.
I personally know how that struggle goes.
Yeah. So anyway, so then you get the artwork back, and you go, where's my story? And ideally, you then write the dialogue and the captions, and for the letterer to finish up the book. So, I'm like, this blows, man. I'm like, I gotta block the action. I gotta set the scene. I've got to write all the dialogue and stuff and the captions and talk about the characters and their interaction so the artist will know exactly what I'm thinking. And Fabian says, no, you don't. Oh, okay. So, and this, again, and I say this jokingly, but I guess I do believe that it's true. The reason that Marvel Comics always felt really overwritten back then was because the writers were trying to get their books back. Do you know what I mean? It's like, shit, I didn't write this. Now I have to overwrite it so that the reader understands what I was trying to get across the first time.
Yeah.
So, it was crazy, man. It was a rough time. And I became more and more increasingly disillusioned by the process. So I wrote issue 1. Actually, I wrote issue 1 twice. the first time I wrote issue 1, I didn't have Hellstorm appear in the book till like the last third of the book. The first 2/3, it was all about characters talking about him.
I get you. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought so too. But no, apparently you can't do that with the first issue. So I had to rewrite it. So I wrote issue 1, 2, and 3, and then issue 4 and 5. And this is how Marvel used to work. Issues 4 and 5 of any series has to have a guest star, because at that point your sales are starting to slump again.
Get you.
So you have to boost the sales of your comic, which is why Wolverine appeared in everything. And he got really popular. For me, it was Ghost Rider.
After that.
So I had to somehow put Ghost Rider into this book in a 2-issue thing. I'm like, oh shit, okay, fine. Problem was, at the time I was writing Hellstorm, there was another editor who was working on, I think it was called either Night Stalkers or Midnight Suns or something, and that had all of Marvel's other horror characters.
That's the
Ghost
Midnight.
Rider,
It's the
Dracula,
Midnight Suns story.
Yeah,
Midnight Suns.
So,
yeah, I remember that.
She would not use any of her characters because I was writing this horror comic for grown-ups.
That should be a team. I mean, it's the same company though. They should want to work together instead of fight each other.
I think what I was trying to do with my stories was freaking people out.
I get
you. At least that's the story that I'm walking away with, and I'm going to tell till I die. Is that I was too hot for Marvel. I was too hot for hell.
I believe it.
It's like
No,
man, I know what it is, Raffi. I know exactly what it is. He's too much on that motherfucking anti-hero tip. You know that? Like, I don't give a fuck. Just kill the bad guys. So, and I did say I was going to play it tonight. Racer, should I?
Should do it.
It's a dope goddamn track. Yeah, this is my new shit featuring Race XX Cash and motherfucking MC Enigma. This is Anti-Hero. We'll be right back with more Uncle Raffi, Supah Nerd-Tendo.
He was born in a small town. He dreamed he would one day change the face of music.
A nomad, nobody knows me. I do my dirt, I creep on the lonely, low key, a bastard like Loki. They call me bandit cause I always keep it smoky. Where my bro be, that's where I stay. No prisoners, I burn them with my eye rays. My rage, don't rattle my cage. A little bit off, a tad bit deranged. Blazed, I hit them with my lung cough. Night Rider, but only when the sun lost. Run off, never was seen again. Racer excess, cash with the evil grin. Evil men, I'm hitting on evil in. Only pull the trigger when they got the deal big. Wheel man, I hit them with the transport. Breaking ankles every time I hit the dance floor. Anti-hero, like to play it like we. Anti-hero, fuck Batman, I got the key. Anti-hero, Superman is a little bitch. Anti-hero, play the little funky bitch. Anti-hero, like to play it like we. Anti-hero, fuck Batman, I got the key. Anti-hero, Superman is a little bitch. Anti-hero, play the little funky bitch.
The beast that 260's back to kill shit like static paper. Sugar niggas gonna build this. Got a problem with the flow, suck on my deal stick. Motherfuckers like you would get dope real quick. Fucking with the outcast, take a nigga out back. Dump him in the particles and put him in a brown bag. How sad, not much you can say about that. What I wanna sing is that I kill up on the soundtrack. Not a wanna be G or wanna be thug, but I chop niggas up at the pub to play with the nubs. Get turned to a nub, trying to fuck with the chud. I skull fuck niggas till I ejaculate blood. Nigga, you crazy. But I wanna keep it clear though. Here to get the near row, bite off your earlobe with the mad lyrical vernacular, killing all the wax heroes. Taking like your fingers while I count the cinco. I got a little bit of good, but I'm still a fucking anti-hero. Like to play it like we. Anti-hero. Fuck Batman, I got the key. Anti-hero. Superman is a little bitch. Anti-hero. Play the little funky bitch. Anti-hero. Like to play it like we. Anti-hero.
the end, inside is dead. Berserker rage is all that's left. Need to aim it at someone else. Guess I'll try and hero up. See if I have any kind of luck. Hope the cops lock these punks up and start shooting me. What the fuck? Glad I thought with a Kevlar cops was a thought. I went too far, well fuck it. The choice been made. Anti-hero bitch make my day.
So, what made to you so special?
Nothing. I'm just Mr. DKB.
Racer XS Cash.
We are the
Supah Smash Bros.
It's your time.
Check us out on Facebook.com/Supah Smash Brothers. SUPAH Smash Bros.
We're on Twitter, Reverb Nation, Instagram, SoundCloud. Just find us. We'll be there.
Breathe slowly as you hold this pose.
Smoke weed and smash shit.
Quit fooling around up there. Smash ain't no joke.
Catch us in the Matrix on No Fucks Given Radio.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room.
Supah Smash Bros.
You have to see it for yourself.
You're listening to No Fucks Given Radio.
Check it out.
After this, there is no turning back.
We don't get no fuck.
Yeah, but we're back. That's right. No fucks given radio. I about fucked up because this is the Supah Nerd-Tendo. Yeah, that's episode 2. Look at that. I fucking, god damn it. All these shows. It is still no fucks given radio, but I'm gonna let fucking DK or fucking Racer take the next goddamn intro. I swear to God, that way I don't fucking half almost fuck it up. That is right. This is episode 2. Got Uncle Raffy in the house. What you just heard though was Anti-Hero by myself, featuring Racer XS Cash and motherfucking MC Enigma. That's what's up. And then you heard that 80s baby off that Stoplight City. You can pick that up right now for what, $5, right guys?
$5 and shipping.
$5. Yeah, go hit them Smash Bros up, man. Yeah, and I'll be re-releasing that Bode here soon. I'll have that Anti-Hero on a couple things, but I ain't really got an exact date for that. I might be waiting for a couple things. DK, Chuckles, Spit.
Yeah,
anybody listening? I'm just fucking with y'all. But yeah,
coming.
You know, it's all good, man. We about that Uncle Raffy right now, like I said, man. Yeah,
we were talking about Ghost Rider not being able to be on your book.
Yeah, that was crazy. So anyway, yeah, so the editor wouldn't let me use Ghost Rider in Hellstrom, so we had to create another Spirit of Vengeance character called Soulfire, who also happened to ride a motorcycle too. So at that point, I think the writing was on the wall. I was very disillusioned with what I was doing. I know I was pissing off Fabian to no end. Part of the reason too was Fabian. Oh man, so Fabian always hated editing me because he said he always felt bad because my scripts were all longhand. I would send Marvel my Hellstorm scripts, handwritten on yellow legal notepaper.
Nice.
And so he's like, "Shit, Raph, I need you to do this edit, but I'm afraid you're just going to go back and just write more and more pages on that yellow fucking notebook of yours." I'm like, "Yes, I will." So he bought me. This is a great Marvel story. So
I have a typewriter.
I get home one day, and sitting in front of my door, my apartment, is this huge ass box, and it's from Marvel. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? So I drag it into the house. I can't pick it up, so I'm dragging it into the house. I get it up onto the kitchen table. I open this thing. It's a fucking IBM Selectric typewriter. the kind where, you know, when you plug it in, you turn it on, it goes boom, like a nuclear reactor kind of thing. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go back. Yeah. So and there's this little note. And it's used because I remember seeing all these things at the Marvel offices, Marvel bullpen, when I was there. And there's this little note from Fabian saying, you know, here now for you to write your scripts. And then the craziest thing happened. I don't know how, but that son of a bitch fell off the table and broke.
Man. Damn.
Oh, I was so sad. I had to call Faye and said, dude, I'm so sorry. I really appreciate that. I just like, but it broke, dude. It fell off the table. He said, I'll send you another one. I said, no, it's okay. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So, yeah, that was great. And that son of a bitch was heavy. It was hard to push off that table. But yeah. So anyway,
Wait.
Huh?
Rafi,
What?
did you just say it was hard to push off that table?
Did I say that?
I don't know. Perhaps if you want to fucking
did I-
know, you can go and listen to the replay later. But that's besides the point. Moving forward.
Anyway, so moving on. So yeah, at that point it was crazy. I mean, the whole thing with there's no hell, and I can't play with these characters, and all this other shit was just really getting to me. My plots were getting later and later and later, and it just wasn't a good time for me. It's like writing the whole Marvel way. None of it was gelling for me, and. And Faye was like, I'm sorry, dude, I got to get you off this book. I'm like, you know what? It's cool. I totally get it. No harm, no foul, Just you do what you got to do. And
Get the right Doctor Strange in your book, though.
I did get to do that. That was great fun. And he said, you know what? Issue 4, you've plotted. I'm going to let somebody else do the dialogue. I'm like, okay. He said, issue 5, we'll let whoever do the whole thing, plot and dialogue, and okay. He said, but you come back for issue 6. I said, cool. I said, all right, I'll make this my swan song then. And I said, okay, but I'm going to write this thing. I'm going to write the whole script. He's like, okay, cool, do it. So I did, and I wrote issue 6 of Hellstorm, Prince of Lies. And I loved it. I was like, oh my God, I love this script. So Michael Bear, who was the artist for this book, for the first 5 issues, he was no longer drawing the book. I don't know what the situation was there. Excuse me, but they were going to get a dude named, I'm going to blank on his name now.
I had
Anyway,
the book out earlier. I can't remember.
Yeah.
According to Rafi, he was named Oh Shit, but okay.
That's right. Oh shit. This guy was a really, really talented artist. He didn't do a lot of comics, but he drew really pretty women. He worked at he did some work for Neil Adams' continuity studio when they were doing comics. Anyway, so this guy was going to draw it, and he did like 2 or 3 pages, and then he stopped. Apparently, he was like in Brazil or something, and he was like trapped in Brazil and didn't have any money for a plane ticket home, and somebody felt bad for him and said, "Here, draw this Hellstorm book," or whatever. Anyway, so he only did 3 or 4 pages of the thing, and they got another artist named Leonardo Manco to come in and finish this book. I didn't know this cat. He certainly didn't know me, but I thought he did a really good job finishing it. Now, Leonardo's like working with John Carpenter, doing that whatever Carpenter's comic book company is, doing some really rad artwork for them. So I wrote issue 6. It came out. I loved it, and I started getting all this great mail from people. Your book, it's so great. You're so wonderful. I'm like, yes, I'm no longer writing this bitch. What the hell? And then so my dilemma after this was really, really simple. While I was writing Hellstorm, and I was meeting all these people from DC Comics, they're like, "Hey, you're the guy who's writing that Vertigo book for Marvel."
That Vertigo book for Marvel? Wow.
Yeah.
That's
isn't that
understandable,
cool?
but yeah, that's fucking cool they compare it like that. Damn.
Yeah. So then I'm no longer doing the Vertigo book for Marvel, so I decided I'm going to head over to Vertigo. And nobody knows who I am. So, I couldn't get arrested over at Vertigo either. Like, damn it. So I thought, you know what, now's the time to go back into the indie market because that's where I belong. And so I did.
Is that when you joined with Brian Azzarello?
I was, Man, you remember all this shit. That's good. I started working at a company called Comico. The original Comico was a very well-run company out of I think it was Pittsburgh or something like that, and it was publishing Mage and
Grendel
and shit. What was the book that Andy worked on?
Oblivion.
The is it Eternals? Elementals. The Elementals.
Yeah, Eternals. My bad.
Right.
He did Oblivion too.
So, that's right. So anyway, so whatever was going on with Comico, they were folding, and this other cat bought up the company, and the characters, I guess. So Brian came on board as like their editor in chief, and I knew Brian just very briefly, and we didn't know each other very well. But he was a cool cat, and I guess he liked what I was doing too. So he said, write some stuff. So I wrote some short stories for Comico. They also had a horror line called North Star, so I wrote some stuff for that. I didn't actually write for Comico proper.
We had Tony talk about having to cut the letters out and stuff with his hands.
Yeah. So I brought Tony on board because, well, I could, and he did a lot of production work over there. But then Brian said, you should write like a series, a vampire series. So we talked about it and created the series Cold Blooded. So I've been very, very lucky and very grateful for the luck that I have had. But in 1993, when the first issue of Hellstorm came out, that also saw the release of the first issue of Cold Blooded. So I think that was pretty cool. It was like I had this major comic or a comic from a major company come out in the same month that this vampire comic from this indie publisher came out. So it was cool, and the experience was so wildly different. And that was a gas. Yeah, working with Brian was a lot of fun.
Now,
I wonder what happened to him.
Well, let me just ask you, Rafi. I'm curious.
Right.
When you got to working on that and you were working on that indie title, was that more a situation where you actually sat down with the artists and got more in depth as far as what was to be drawn as opposed to the Marvel way?
I decided at that point that, what I did was I started writing full scripts. So it was page 1, panel 1, exterior, nighttime. This is what's happening. And so I was able to do that and give the artist a full script to work from, so that I was more comfortable giving up that aspect. It's like I gave you everything that I could. So I'm giving you 110%. You give me back 80 if you have to, and somewhere in there, we'll get to 100% comic. And I started lettering my books too. So this way I could edit my own dialogue and my own captions if I had to. So I had a much better handle on the end product, and that's what I did, and that's what I've tried to do ever since. For the most part, is
you enjoy that more?
I enjoy feeling in control more. Yeah. I mean, if I have the right artistic partner, I'm happy to give up control. I know, just with the little art background that I have, you have to. It's a collaboration. It's a melody.
Relationship.
Yeah, of words and pictures. So it's definitely a give and take. I always used to say I create the body and the artist puts the nice clothes on it. It all becomes context then. And so it was cool. It was cool to do. It takes a lot. Writing a full script takes longer. Lettering after you get the art, that takes longer. But if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it yourself.
Yeah, cool.
So
kind of how we feel on music.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, I'm curious then, Rafi. I mean, based on when you got into it, what you've all seen, what's your opinion just of the fact that comics have become such a popular medium to the point where fucking I don't even know how many comic book movies have been made at this point, and whether they were shitty or good isn't the point, but the fact is there's been a lot of movies based on comics. So what's your opinion of that and just the popularity they've gained?
My opinion is that there's been a lot of movies that have been based on comics.
Yeah.
That's your whole opinion? What the fuck? What the fuck kind of... No, you elaborate, or I'm gonna fucking end this. I'll end this motherfucking interview. You're trying to run off earlier.
I'm sorry, well, you can't. Oh, you can't cut me off, bitch. I'm on now.
Oh wait, Racer. He don't think I DK. What man? I'll be nice. Whatever. Just answer the fucking question.
All right. I think comics have always been a big part of obviously a big part of pop culture, and I think what's happening is that the more movies become homogenized, in the sense that there are more and more blockbuster movies, comics provide the right material for big budget movies because it's pure escapism and everything's right there for you. This is the weird dichotomy of comic book movies is, you can do Batman, and I mean Batman's there. Batman's been around for like 30, 50 years, some shit, and
80, something like that. Yeah, it's been a while.
70 years.
And yet you make a Batman movie and you forget a lot of the core elements that make the Batman comic the Batman comic. And that's true of anything. It's like if you've got the material there, use it. Don't screw around with it. I understand you have to try to make it relevant to a certain audience. There are certain things that you think they're not going to buy. Come on, the dude's running around in a fucking costume with a cape. You buy that, you'll buy anything. So I think one, it's become easier for films to get made in that manner, in terms of having the source material where it's all right there, it's laid out for you to cherry pick from. Does that make them good? I don't know that makes them good. The prime example for me would be like the Watchmen movie. And bear with me for
material. That's the one that'll change stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
the only thing they changed.
The problem is, you guys all read Watchmen, right?
Oh yeah. I've both. Yeah. Has everybody in the room read Watchmen?
Yeah.
Okay. So Watchmen is the pinnacle of the comic book experience. Watchmen is the end game. It's the bookend. Watchmen makes you read Watchmen and you enjoy it because you understand that there's 75 years of comics or whatever before it. You know what I mean? So you can see the archetypes, you can see all these things, and so you're like, okay, comics have now come full circle with this story. It's now these are adult comics, these are grown-up comics, and I feel that now, and I feel the electricity of like, yes, Night Owl, of course, Night Owl was Batman, Dr. Manhattan. It's like even they're all based on Charlton characters. Those Charlton characters were based on DC characters. So it was great. It was complete. It was so packed with such great material. So of course, how could you not make this into a movie, right? This is it. The problem is that the Watchmen comics came at a time when you've had decades and decades and decades of material to sift through, to grow up with. So if you read Batman as a kid, if you read Superman, if you read Captain America, if you read Spider-Man, all this stuff that's happening in Watchmen, you understand, because you've grown up with these comics. You can't expect a movie-going audience who's only had, Tim Burton's Batman, who's only had, Chris Reeves as Superman, who's only had these, especially with the research of Chris Nolan's Dark Knight. Chris Nolan's Dark Knight worked because it was Chris Nolan doing it, and he was able to take those things that were key to Batman and put just a slight spin on them. But Watchmen is deadly serious, man. Watchmen is deadly serious, and it's dense, and it's packed with shit. And to try to make that into a movie that is as cynical and as depressing as that movie turned out to be.
Yeah.
Man, I'm surprised that they're still making superhero movies after that.
No, look, I'll say about that particular film, in my opinion, that has one of the most tragic fucking deaths of any character in any film being Rorschach. I mean, the fact that the motherfucker's just like, no, fuck you, this is wrong. And if you're going to disagree, and it is wrong. I mean, what happened was wrong. And they're like, he's like, fuck you. If you're going to disagree with what's wrong, then fucking, like, that's, and they did it in the film perfectly, too. Yeah, they really did. That is one of the only comic book films I think that has been translated to the degree that it has from the book. Because hell, I mean, they even did the animated. With
and you enjoy it. Yeah. No, and you enjoy it because you read comics. If you're an average going, moviegoer, and you see this thing, you're like, what the fuck was that? It's like, Mom, that movie scared me. Now, if they had taken the first 10 minutes or whatever of the Minutemen and done that as a movie, that would have been kick-ass.
I get you. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
So anyway, so comic movies can be great if they respect the source material and they respect the audience. Unfortunately, comic book movies never, ever, ever, to my mind, have ever translated into comic book sales.
How I feel, yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree that is true, even though it's funny to see what Marvel's been doing based on the fact that Fox has got certain properties. But whatever, fuck it. That's the movies, and I know when we get back, we're going to get into our fucking top 5 comic book films, so I'm interested to see what you went with, Raffy. But for right now, this is The Movies by Fang Bang. We'll be right back. Supah Nerd-Tendo.
Do it like the movies. Do it like the movies. Do it like. Let's play a game. Do it like the movies. Do it like the movies. Do it like the movies. Do it like. Let's play a game. You can do it like Marilyn Monroe, and I'll go ham like Robert De Niro. Here we go. About to flow, about to get my cocaine blow. No more Johnny Depp because I am public enemy number 1. I could be held for ransom, cause that is just the way of the gun. No more Finding Nemo, I'm a lone shark in this fish tank. Can't play Battleship, you lost when your Titanic sank. Denzel versatility, and this is your training day. They will never allow you to live like Carlito's way.
But
are you ready?
This is why we can't have nice things.
No, keep it in. Rip a fart, whatever. This is recording.
What? What are you?
You don't want to take it into the shop and be like, I need this worked on. Oh, sir, what happened? Shit on it.
Give my hand. I'm not prepared. I really am not prepared at all.
This is not nice, and you're listening to No Fucks Given. Radio Hour. With the unknown factor.
Where'd you get a hand grenade? I don't know.
Check me out at www.ftiarmy.com or nuttonxnice.com. Check out the merchandise, videos, music, and everything. All the social media is right there.
I love Lamp.
Oh, all right.
Hurry and escape. No petting room, cell, lock doors, no kill. Fuck that, I'ma pop a triple bar. Maybe 2 or 3, maybe do a couple lines. Gotta get right tonight, midnight. I gotta crack a couple motherfuckers go. It's payback on crack, get back, fuck that. I gotta.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
That's true.
Yeah, I stabbed a man in the heart. I saw that.
nuttonxnice.com. Check it out.
Look, we're back, right? Supah Nerd-Tendo, No Fucks Given Radio, having a bit of tech issue. I'm sorry to the host of the show here, fucking Racer and DKB. I gotta be fucking shit up. That's what I do, but we still got Uncle Raffy in the house, man. We're still gonna get to this top 5. because
Yeah.
we do top fives. And, man, I don't know. I'm going to let DK pick who he wants to throw under the bus first.
I'm going to throw you under the bus.
Damn. Maybe I shouldn't have let DK pick who to throw under the bus first. Fucking asshole.
Power. Don't abuse it.
Well, fine. All right. So, yeah, we're doing top 5 comic movies. That's what we're doing. Hey, man, I don't know about y'all, but I, like, fucking went to Wikipedia and looked up every comic book film that's ever been made. And really was meticulous about going through this shit.
Crazy.
Yeah, after it's all said and done, I came up with, I think, like Watchmen, obviously, because I think if you're a comic book geek, then I think that's probably, that should be on your list. One that I know fucking we're going to hear about from Racer a couple shows later on a different top 5, but we'll get into that a couple shows later, which is Logan, which I thought was excellent regardless of the fact that they couldn't touch the comic like I would have liked them to, because, you know, no Hulk and shit. Deadpool, because they did that character right. They did. The Crow, which is an early one, because, I mean, how many movies you know a motherfucker died during making it and they still finished the movie? There's 2 I can think of, and they're both comic book films. Oh, shit. I don't think I'd ever want to act as a comic book character that had to paint up their face in a comic book film, now that I think about that. But that's a different story altogether, right? And then the thing that, in my opinion, really kind of started the resurgence of comic book films, especially from Marvel, and was a great film, in my opinion, regardless of what it has some cheesy-ass moments, I'm not going to lie, and that's Blade with Wesley Snipes.
Good movie.
I like Blade.
Yeah. So, DK, who you throwing under the bus
like
next?
The Blade miniseries, the TV show.
See, man, I wasn't it was okay. I don't know. Maybe I just couldn't get into it enough because I really liked Wesley Snipes. Oh, really? See, I like the animated series, the anime series they did.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, the anime. You're talking about the anime. I thought you were talking about the little mini series where it was live action.
Sticker fingers.
Yeah.
Like TV.
Oh, yeah, the anime was dope. Totally agree, DK. All right, so fuck it. Who you throwing under the bus next, man? We'll leave it up to you.
I'll go, then.
He's going to throw himself under the bus. That's ballsy.
I'll throw myself. Yeah. Okay, these are my top 5. I'd say my favorite of all time, Batman 1966. That's just...
Shark repellent.
That's just... Yeah, I don't know. That's just classic to me.
Damn.
Another one, Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Damn. You can't go wrong with that one.
Whatever, man. They show a duck fuck a human in that movie.
It doesn't matter. It's Howard the Duck. I was a little kid. Yeah, V for Vendetta. That's my third one.
Ooh.
Might have to go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Wait, which one?
1990.
The original.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my last one, which has got me into horror, I'd say Tales from the Crypt. The old 70s one.
Oh, yeah. Shit, that's a good
72 or something.
Oh, damn.
I can dig it. That's a good.
So that kind of
vibe.
got me into Tales from the Crypt and the whole horror thing. And
I didn't even think about those ones, man. For real, at all. The Tales from the Crypt films, because they weren't on fucking Wikipedia. I don't think. That's horse shit.
There's a bunch of them you wouldn't even think, probably. I mean,
oh my god, dude, that Wikipedia list.
I mean, movies. Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
That shit was ridiculous, y'all. It was fucking ridiculous. Well, DK, you got 2 left. Who you throwing under the bus next?
I will go with Racer.
All right. My top 5. I choose my number 1 is Sin City. I'm a big Frank Miller fan.
Nice. I almost picked that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's probably my all-time favorite.
Very beautiful movie. Yeah, it's a good movie.
My number 2, Watchmen. Number 3, V for Vendetta. Number 4, Dick Tracy. I just think very colorful movie. A lot of cool characters and stuff.
Yeah.
And number 5, I picked Punisher Warzone just because I felt Lionsgate did a real good rendition of Punisher where he was pretty ruthless. It wasn't candy-coated like the first one.
Yeah, I like that era of Punisher.
Yeah.
Right.
Rafi.
Let's see. Okay, no particular order. It's got to be 5, huh? Shit. Okay. You guys make this stuff hard. Dark City.
Wait.
Yeah.
Rafferty, I have to interrupt you. Dark City is based on a fucking comic book?
I believe so.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Oh, movie's based on comic book, not comic book movie. Okay, I got you.
Oh, okay, because I was
Should've
like, because that's a dope fucking movie. I was like, where's this comic? Because I need to read it.
Oh, my bad. I gotta stop drinking when I'm doing these things. Okay, let's do The Crow.
Yeah.
The Crow, definitely. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
V for Vendetta, definitely. That thing was stunning. Damn, how many more we got? Let's see.
More, I believe.
2.
What else? What the fuck else has been out there? Hey, you know what? The Tim Burton Batman.
Oh, nice.
That was because I'll tell you, Michael Keaton was the epitome. The way Bruce Wayne was written was stellar. Stellar. I thought Michael Keaton was the best Bruce Wayne ever. He just is like you saw everything in that dude's face, man. Just that sense of being lost in his own skin. Like, I don't even know who I am until I put on that mask. Amazing stuff. I'm stalling because I'm trying to figure out what that 5th movie one is going to be. Shit. What was it?
Superman Richard Donner, something like that.
Nah, I love Richard Donner. I love Chris Reeve. I had so many problems with the Superman movie. It just feels really, really dated. That would be like number 6 or 7 on my list. I gotta say.
Well, can I say real quick, Rafi? Based on the earlier conversation, I figured he'd have fucking said Watchmen, but that's just based on the earlier conversation.
No.
The Avenger.
If you had asked me about Watchmen the comic, that'd be on my top 3. But Watchmen the movie, not so much.
Oh damn!
Not so much. If that movie came out 5 years from now, or even a couple years from now, even now, it would be in my top 5. Because we've had so many other movies where there have been darker characters. Then yeah, I would totally bought into it. But when it came out, I'm looking at it because I can separate a comic from a movie, except for Dark City. Clearly, I can't do that. But like I said, Watchmen the comic was amazing. Watching the movie, again, not so much. Rocketeer.
Rocketeer,
because it just and then I have like a 5.5 would then be Captain America: The First Avenger. Because that thing was.
That was a good one.
Captain America: The First Avenger lived up to it. It fulfilled the promise that Rocketeer made. Same director, Joe Johnston, both of them, and just cool. I mean, my God, Dave Stevens' character, the Rocketeer, was just such an amazing character to begin with. To even try to make a movie based on that was a big deal for me.
Right on.
God, how old is that movie? Folks. Yeah, how old is that movie too, The Rocketeer? I'm curious. Does anyone know?
Maybe 90s.
90s, yeah. God, it's been forever since I've seen that
93,
shit.
94.
Hell yeah. It's a damn good top 5. I like
All
that,
right, Uncle Raffy, I'm going to ask you, what are you doing for Free Comic Book Day? We got to let the people know.
Oh, right on. Thanks for asking. So, Free Comic Book Day, I am going to be at Top Cut Comics in beautiful Illinois. And I'm going to be hanging with my people from Berwyn Fandemonium. It's a group of crafters and artists and makers who do all geek-inspired jewelry and apparel and prints and bags and all kinds of shit. We're going to be...
Well, they were going to be something, ladies and gentlemen, but God damn it, they're going to be fucking annoying the shit out of me because this fucking shit is like goddamn mad scientist. I swear Google Hangouts pissed me off. JP the Hustler, mad scientist. Be right back.
Think I folded, but I'm back in the lab. And again, my habit for damage, I'm bringing life to a savage. And then unleashing the gamut, then I'm releasing the panic. The creature feature, your Frankenstein is the monster you banish. And then I push the switch and itch and mission for the competition. I ain't no bitch and I ain't running from no opposition. My sole ambition is to win, and now I guess I'm wishing. You think I'm bullshit and obvious that you don't listen. I am the alchemist, I am the grim reaper, the creator, the destroyer, and the one teacher. I am the alpha, the omega, and the orchestrator. I am the officer, I am the overseer. I'm beyond your comprehension, I'm the gatekeeper. I'm the man up on the mic, I'm the soul speaker. I am the soul reaper, incising with my knife. The reanimator, bringing the music to life. Mad scientist, I am David Banner, the incredible Hulk, and you will feel my anger. I know Octavius, superior to every man. You are the serpentine, I am the son of Satan.
Edit all this out, of course.
I'm just kidding. Hey, look, this is. I love how he's like, we'll edit all this out right when I click the goddamn mic button. Fuck that. Why do you think I'm gonna edit this out, man? Don't you know that I cover that shit real quick live, Racer, to where like, look, like that shit cuts off and I realize it and I'm like, well, son of a bitch, blah 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 blah, and then I word in some fucking track. You know, the track I just worded in was from JP the Hustler. Yeah, he's fucking. Interview before D spills. I think we did that shit like Sunday or something. I don't fucking Sunday. JP, that's when it was. Yeah, you can check that out on No Fucks Given Radio right now. But that's not the point. The point is Free Comic Book Day coming up. Yeah, Saturday and Racer.
Saturday.
Yeah,
first Saturday of May every year.
Yeah, Racer had asked you, man. So where you gonna be again, Rafferty? Where you gonna be? Huh?
I am gonna be at Top Cut Comics in beautiful Berwyn. I'm at the little burg that I live in now. And I'm going to be there with my crew from Berwyn Fandemonium. We're a group of artists and crafters and makers, and we do these geek-inspired items to sell, like jewelry and T-shirts and prints and bags and art and all kinds of cool shit. And so we're going to be at Top Gun Comics in Berwyn from 11 to 4 on Saturdays. You should definitely check us out. It's going to be a blast. That's where I'll be.
Hell yes. So if you're in that area, man, go check out Uncle Rafferty, see what he's doing. But
oh yeah, for sure. Sorry. And if you want more information, because I'm mumbling right now, go to Facebook and check out Berwyn Fandemonium. That'll give you all the information.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. That's what's up. Now I know for a fact that me and Race is going to meet up a Free Comic Book Day. Where the fuck are we meeting, Race? Because I really don't even know.
Comics Cubed in Kokomo, Indiana, our buddy Sean Hilton's shop.
Yeah. Woo! So you can catch myself and Racer.
Sean and Kokomo Comics and Kokomo Con in October. If you're in Kokomo, check out that con. We definitely do that every year. It's a good time.
It's a great show, definitely.
Hell yeah.
He's done it a few times.
I'll be there next year, man, because, we started this show. We got to fucking do this shit right. I'm trying to get Racer to get me up to date because I kind of fell out on comics. Well, I just kind of fell out on the comic book thing a little bit, man, and I ain't going to lie, Rafferty. I'm a little fucking bit behind.
I took breaks myself, man. You got to take breaks sometime. And
well, I still got mad love for y'all. Don't even worry about it.
Hey, well, fuck a break, though, because right now, I want to know who would break who, right? Because, like I said, we're going to start this little, like who's got, like, I don't even know what the fuck to call this, man. Who's got this versus you, bro? I don't know, DK. You got a good name?
Battle.
I don't. It's a versus battle.
Mono.
It's the versus battle to the death.
I love it.
For real, yeah. Mono, one-on-one. Like, between these two characters, if they had to fight until one of them fucking died, which one's going to die first? That's what we want to know. And now since we got Raffy in the house and he has written fucking Hellstorm, we got Hellstorm. And on the other side, we got pretty much his DC equivalent in Blue Devil. All right? Now,
Blue Devil.
I did a lot of research on these two characters, y'all. And I find that they have a lot of similarities.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
Like
they both rock a trident. They both
yeah.
Like banish demons to the other realms and stuff.
So now let me ask you, Raffi. I'm curious because Hellstorm, can he step on holy ground?
Yeah.
Like a motherfucker could just walk up in a church.
Sure. Yeah. In fact, he's done it a few times.
He has unlimited power in his own realm, right?
Yeah. See, that's what it says.
Here's the thing, okay? Hellstorm is the fucking son of Satan, all right? Blue Devil is some dude who was like, he was like some kind of
martial
actor,
artist
some kind of stunt dude. Right.
Yeah, he was a
stuntman. Yeah, exactly. He was like some stuntman who had like this stupid Blue Devil outfit on, right? And his trident was just like some kind of mechanical device. Come on, man. Damon Hellstrom could just summon his trident at will. All right? You know, he had a fucking chariot with some fire horses dragging his ass around. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that.
I mean, Blue Devil was a fun comic book, but it was just a comic book, man. Please.
It sounds
Blue
like
Devil dies a lot too. He's died at least 3 or 4 times in the book. I don't think Hellstorm.
He's just a demon with a soul.
So it's essentially everybody's in agreement that Blue Devil would get stomped the fuck out. In this
Hellstorm
fight.
all the way, definitely.
That's right. You damn Skippy.
I go Hellstorm.
Yeah, I had to go Hellstorm. I mean, there's no comparison.
I mean,
I didn't even know his sister was Saint Satana. I found that interesting.
I'm sure, apparently, Blue Devil, he beat Eclipso once or something. And apparently, he's got strength, and he can shoot some shit with his fucking trident. But
yeah, but
I don't think it touches Hellstorm.
Yeah, because Hellstorm, that motherfucker joined up with the Avengers at one point. I mean, he's been in the fucking Avengers.
And he came up with a Thunderbolt.
Yeah, he's a far heavier hitter.
I'm trying to live that shit down. But yeah.
You're trying to live that shit down?
You'll notice in my during my run on Hellstorm, I didn't touch any of those stuff except to mention where he was. I was like, no. The only characters that I had during my run were Patsy Walker, his wife, who I made crazy.
Yeah, Gargoyle in there too for a minute.
And I had Gargoyle in there, yeah. And it was like that's it. That's all I need. And of course, Doctor Strange. I was trying to throw some shit in there, man. It was, I had Gabriel, the demon hunter, was in there, and yes, Satana. So I can tell you guys this now, since obviously it's been 20 years and no one gives a shit. But in my and this is for people who actually read the Hellstorm comic. But so in the first issue, Patsy Walker's like she's freaked out. And we see her like her head is shaved and she's all psycho and shit. And the reason for that is because in some jacked up issue of, I don't know what it was, Avengers West Coast, I don't know, Hellstorm somehow lost his soul fire. What the fuck is that? Anyway, so yeah, so I had to pick up that thread and run with it. So I made some backstory where Patsy made a deal with Hellstorm's daddy to give Hellstorm back his power, and so Dad says, gives Hellstorm back his power in front of Patsy, and she's watching, and she looks on her husband, this man that she loves, who who's got red tights and yellow boots and a red cape. And she looks on his true face, the face of the son of the devil, and it just blows her mind, literally. So when we see her, she's a complete reject up mentally. So part of the whole story, had I continued on it, was Damon Helston's sister, Satana, was going to inhabit Patsy Walker's body.
Oh, man.
So yeah, so there were some scenes that were going to happen that, well, let's just say
man,
yes.
Wait, did y'all catch this shit? Uncle Raffy, I think, fucking wrote Britney Spears' breakdown long before it ever happened.
That's right. Patsy Walker did it first.
Oh shit, that's terrible. Hey, look, Uncle Raffy, man, we definitely got to have you back because I can tell way more tells to fucking tell and we're about that over
I got
here,
him.
man. Yeah, for real. We're
Tell us
definitely...
what books you got coming out, Compulsion or something with Hugo Petrus?
Oh, Compulsion with Hugo Petrus. That's gonna be a minute. Hugo's a talented Spanish artist. Right now, he's working for Marvel. As a matter of fact, he's inking Nick Fury over an artist named Akko. He's also
I picked up the first issue with the hip hop cover. So I'll have to check that out.
It's absolutely amazing. Hugo's one of those guys he's a real humble cat, but so talented, and I can't say enough about him. So if you're listening, Hugo, te amo mucho. Doing great stuff. So that's going to be a minute. Right now, I'm working on a couple of small projects that are, in fact, one with Tony Maldonado.
Very cool.
Yeah, we did a thing for 24-hour comic day. Yes, this 57-year-old man stayed up for 24 hours. I'll never do that again. I'm past my bedtime now. And we got a guy named Ken Wolak who's inking over Tony's pencils, and I hope to have that out by August, I think. And then just some quick little side projects I'm trying to get out. I got a day job and I got a 5-year-old daughter, so and a mortgage, so I got to take care of those things first. Then I can sit down and have some fun and make some comics.
So where can everybody get your Forgotten Lore Volume 1? Because I enjoyed that book a lot.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I'm definitely working on Volume 2 of Forgotten Lore. Forgotten Lore is a compilation short stories that I've done over the last 30 years of writing comics. So I got some crazy shit. Some stuff that's it's been published in small comics. Yeah, some stuff from Caliber. Some stuff that's never been published before, and then some brand new stuff too. So got a lot of crazy stuff going on in there.
Cool.
Just now released my adaptation of Nosferatu. From that's available now, and I'll have copies this weekend at Fandemonium. It was drawn by a dude named Ken Holozinski. He's a very talented guy, an incredible designer. We did this book for Caliber a couple years back, and it just now reprinted it, and it's an adaptation of the original F.W. Murnau black and white movie Nosferatu. So that's recent, and yeah, a couple more re-releases coming out, and I will give you guys the scoop as soon as I get them.
Sounds cool.
Hell yeah, man. That's dope that you're still just putting in fucking work like that, man. I think that shows that you've really got a drive in it. Like I said, Uncle Ravi, man, now don't start talking again because you won't stop. You're as bad as I am. And I love and appreciate that, Rafferty, but it's been a hell of an interview, man. It has, for real. This is the second episode of the Supah Nerd-Tendo Hour. Before we cut out, man, do you want to give any shout outs? Rafferty?
Uncle Rafferty.
Oh,
you got any shout outs?
I thought it was fucking goddamn tech issue again, and I was about to start bouncing my fucking head off a wall. Are you shitting me?
You told me not to talk, brother. Hey, listen.
Hey, real quick. Yeah. I like this guy. He's a good guy, Racer. It's a good interview you brought on. Fucking props.
I like you guys too. I love this show, man. I can't wait. I'm gonna tune in all the time. You guys are great.
We'll have it up your episode in a couple days.
Right on.
Download it.
Shout out to everyone who's ever tried to make a comic, good, bad, or indifferent. Shout out to the people who are still doing it and who are living the dream and trying to make shit happen. Shout out to all the dreamers, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. I don't care if it's music, painting, ice skating, whatever. Do what you love and love what you do.
Right on.
Hell yeah, man. That's great advice. DKB, Racer, final thoughts?
It just was a pleasure talking to Uncle Raffy.
Yeah, it was.
Again, if you guys like video games, check out my friend's Video Game Galaxies on Facebook. But yeah, it was a pleasure getting to talk to Uncle Raffy. Big fan for a while.
Hell yeah, Uncle Raffy.
I also check out Bob Howard, Plumber of the Unknown. That was also good.
Right on.
First Publishing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. And Raffy, yeah, we're going to have to fucking bring you back to cover the what, fucking 14 years we didn't get. Holy shit, man. We got that much information and there's still 14 fucking years. Man, yo, I know I played it once, but Raisa, I think I gotta hit him with the lung cough.
Do it.
Yeah. This has been Supah Nerd-Tendo with the Supah Smash Bros and myself, the Unknown Factor. Have a good night.
Take it easy.
He was born in a small town. He dreamed he would one day change the face of music.
A nomad, nobody knows me. I do my dirt, I creep on the lonely, low key, a bastard like Loki. They call me bandit cause I always keep it smoky. Where my bro be, that's where I stay. No prisoners, I burn them with my eye rays. My rage, don't rattle my cage. A little bit off, a tad bit deranged. Blazed, I hit them with my lung cough. Night rider, but only when the sun lost. Run off, never was seen again. Race of excess, cash with the evil grin. Evil men, I'm hitting on Evelyn. Only pull the trigger when they got the deal big. Wheelman, I hit them with the transport. Breaking ankles every time I hit the dance floor. Anti-hero, like the way, like way. Anti-hero, fuck that man, I got the key. Anti-hero, Superman is a little bitch. Anti-hero, play the middle, don't be big. Anti-hero, like the way, like way. Anti-hero, fuck that man, I got the key. Anti-hero, Superman is a little bitch. Anti-hero, play the middle, don't be big.
The beast of 260's back to kill shit like static paper. Sure you niggas gonna feel this. Got a problem with the flow, suck on my deal stick. Motherfuckers like you and get dope real quick. Fuckin' with the outcast, take a nigga out back. Dump him in the particles and put him in a brown bag. How sad, not much you can say about that. What I wanna say is that I kill up on the soundtrack. Not a wanna be G or wanna be thug, but I chop niggas up with the pub. To play with the nubs, get turned to a nug. Trying to fuck with the chud. I skull fuck niggas till I ejaculate blood. Nigga, you crazy. But I wanna keep it clear though. Here to get the Nero. Bite off your earlobe with the mad lyrical vernacular. Killing all the wax zeros. Taking like your fingers while I count the single. I got a little bit of good, but I'm still a fucking anti-hero. Like the way you like way. Anti-hero. Fuck that man, I got the key. Anti-hero. Superman is a little bitch. Anti-hero. Play the middle, don't be big. Anti-hero. Like the way you like way. Anti-hero. Fuck that man, I got the key. Anti-hero. Superman is a little bitch. Anti-hero. Play the middle, don't be big.
The dawn, this is the rise. I'm the alpha. Are you surprised? Returning like the Red Hood. After all these years, it's time to make good. It's a joke, it's up and dead, but comedian inside is dead. Berserker rage is all that's left. Need to aim it at someone else. Guess I'll try and hero up. See if I have any kind of luck. Hold the cops, lock these punks up. They start shooting me. What the fuck? Glad I thought with a Kevlar. Cops was the thought. I went too far. Well, fuck it. The choice been made. Anti-hero bitch, make my day.